The Gita says that the intellect is the helper, but it also is the bar. Each and every person is the center of the whole universe. I say each one is the center of the whole universe. And we're just like, we'll say the ocean and the waves. The waves, we'll say, might represent the intellect, but underneath it support the waves, like the ocean of cosmic consciousness. There is a little technique that you can practice, and you can ask from time out of mind. It doesn't make any difference how many million years ago this happened, that happened, or whatnot. And you can listen carefully inside your head, and your question will be answered in terms of your own understanding, your own, you see. So if the intellect, we'll say the intellect sets up something, but it also has to be put aside in order to be more, or to become conscious in the universal consciousness, you see. And I think more meditative minds we develop, the better we can use what's available to us, you know, to much better advantage than what we usually do. Making decisions, anything else, you see. Sometimes the answer will come by a little vision, or this, you can hear the word said, or this or that will come to it to assure you that you're doing the right thing, you see.
Dear Yogacharya, other than doing Kriyas as a way to improve one's concentration, do you know of any simple techniques I might practice to improve my level of concentration?
Well, what simpler could you recommend than that? Then that's what your Kriya is for, you know, and it's to meditate and learn to keep your, you have to do that, you see. You got to do it through practice. You can't acquire any. Who becomes expertise without practice? The one that practices playing the piano 7 or 8 hours every day is going to be asked to recite someday, aren't they? And one that just pings along, you know, occasionally, how will they ever learn to play the piano or anything else you do? Whatever you want to be expertise in. You see? Take the chosen work that each one of you have done for your life's benefit, and you stay at it and you improve in it, and you can't just do one thing 1 minute and the next thing and another thing all over the place. You wouldn't be doing anything. You got to pick out one thing and stick to it.
Yogacharya, if two people are established on the spiritual path, can marriage be helpful in quickening their spiritual evolution, or would it be detrimental?
No, I think it could be an advantage. I think it would be a tremendous advantage. When you see, there's two types of marriages. One is pure love, and the other is physical attraction, you see. So the physical attraction is the one that you got to look out for any time and place. Problems can happen, you see. Now, I'll just give you a little illustration of my own experience with Mrs. Black. She lived to be, she was 77 years old, and we lived together all that time, and it just seemed like we were made for each other. And the way I met her in the first place, I was at her uncle's home, and in the living room, and then they had a parlor, like, you know, where they lived. Then you went through that, and you went upstairs. So for some reason or other, he took me upstairs, and I saw her photograph on a stand as I passed in the living room. And I looked at her and I said, well, where have you been all this time? That's the way it was with me, you know, with her, you see. Well, we lived together and went through hard times together. She was never critical of anything that happened that went wrong or anything, and I always cherished that. But it's where marriages get together on physical attractions, it's allowed to be very dangerous.
Yogacharya, when you see the spiritual eye, is that the beginning of samadhi, or is samadhi still a long way off? It's not my question. No, look at me like that.
Well, samadhi, all you have to do is to, when the five senses and the mind are still, you got to quiet your mind. And the reason itself Reasoning has to go, and then begins the path supreme. That's when you do that. You go into samadhi. Your mind had anything else to do.
Yogacharya, how can you hold on to God's presence while working in the world?
Well, that's something that everybody ought to do all the time. Think of God all the time and don't make it what you're doing. I don't know whether you're digging a ditch or riding a horse or preparing a meal. Have God in the back of your mind all the time. I do that. It's easy. I'd feel terrible if I didn't have something like that. You don't grow spiritually unless you learn how to share with others something that you have, or you have the ability to share, and like that. And then you begin to grow spiritually. That's what Jesus did. Like Jesus, he gave himself to the whole world. You remember? Took in the whole world. So that's what avatars do after a while. And then you come into certain powers that is given to you, that you develop, and then you get into the area where you're able to do so-called miracles. But to me, there's no miracle. You just don't understand what happened. You know how to do that, you see. It's potential in everybody, you see. Well, there are some souls that are so finished with physical existence, the life of the world, that they give themselves so completely to the idea of God, and they throw everything else out, but the idea of God, and they get so absorbed with it, and when they pass on, they never reincarnate either. Yeah. Okay.
So what they're saying is having a desire for God is okay.
Oh, sure. The best thing you can do, if you don't have a desire for something, you never attain it. You get sick enough of everything, you'll have a desire to find something better. Well, and that's why we evolve through suffering. We suffer all the time that we're not doing things just the way it should be. We evolve through suffering.
Does a master help his disciples overcome bad habits if they sincerely want to overcome them?
Oh yes, the master. That's why you have a guru. He's showing you the way. You see, he's showing the path and the way to do, and you follow his guidance, and then you'll advance tremendously. That's why you have a guru. You see, a spiritual teacher. Otherwise, you feel pretty much alone in creation once, and that's terrible.
Helpless and hopeless.
Yeah. You don't need to. The teaching is that when the disciple is ready, the guru appears. He shows up.
Sure does.
Yeah.